What is going on, boys? Hopefully you had a great vacation, a great holiday, Christmas, whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah, maybe you're a little market maker, you're celebrating Hanukkah, you know what I'm saying? But we ended up making $1,000 during the holiday, which I wasn't really going to trade, but it was a 30-minute swing trade, so it doesn't use too much brain power. So I thought I would take this trade. I'll throw up the screenshot right now. It'll be somewhere around here. That'll be the MetaTrader screenshot. Now you can see right here. Obviously, we did not get this full move. Okay, we'll go into this in a second here, but obviously the full move would have been a 20 risk reward trade. Go through that in a second, but first, look outside, boys. It's very snowy outside in Canada. Oh, boys. Don't know if you can see this, but it's coming down. I stopped the video to film this. Lots of snow over here. Back to the video. And I want to address the elephant in the room. Why do I not have a bed sheet on my bed? Well, your boy, we may have hit take profit last night, if you know what I'm saying. So we had to wash the sheets. But anyways, back to trading. Let's break down this trade, how we ended up winning this trade and making $1,000 on the 50K funded account. Okay, so let's get straight into it. First of all, this was a swing trade. It was on the higher time frame, so we always start on the higher time frame analysis before we take a trade. Okay, so this was on GBP NZD, and you could see obviously very, very bullish. Okay, how do I know it's bullish? Well, it's going up. Okay, it's going up. Probably bullish, probably going to continue going higher, right? So you can see here that earlier in December, we kind of took a dump here, and I was looking for us to rebalance higher, obviously, because, well, we're bullish, right? So obviously, there was this huge imbalance throughout here that needs to be filled once again. And I guess we'll go into a little bit lower time frame or more recent price action. We really weren't doing anything. We were kind of making higher highs. You can kind of paint this out. So, from that, I was basically just looking to continue making higher highs, which it looks like we're creating right now. But that's basically all I was looking for within the markets, right? I'm just looking for buys and I'm looking for higher highs to be created. And I can tell just based off market structure that, if price comes back down to here, that's probably going to be a really good buying opportunity for investors. They're getting price for cheaper, getting their entries in before setting price higher. So that being said, we scaled down. Okay, you can go to the 1 hour, look a little bit more at stuff. Okay, where are demand zones? Boom, boom, boom. Demand zone here, nothing really in front of it in terms of liquidity, but down here we have a very nice demand zone. Okay, now we trade on the 30-minute time frame when we are swing trading. So go down to the 30-minute. What do we see? We see a very beautiful demand zone. Okay, so why is this a beautiful demand zone? Well, few different reasons. Okay, first of all, the basing wasn't the best. Okay, it could have been better basing. What I mean by basing is that candle right before that creates the demand zone. Okay, so the demand zone is from here to here, so it could have been a little bit tighter of a demand zone, but honestly, it doesn't really matter too much. Let's try to find a tight ass zone, if you know what I'm saying. I guess something like this right here, right? We have kind of better basing here where it's a tight zone where investors got in before setting price higher. But anyways, the zone was pretty good. And how you know it's a very strong zone is when there's an explosive move away. Okay, a lot of supply and demand traders will trade just shitty zones, okay? Right, for example, let's find a shitty zone. Okay, for example, here. Some people, this is actually perfect. Some people right here will say this is a demand zone. They'll say, okay, we're going to long from here. Let's long at this demand zone. Boom, instant stop. Okay, why did we get stopped out on that demand zone? This is not a great demand zone. Why is it not a great demand zone? Look at all these wicks, okay? Investors literally, if a demand zone is where investors got in before they sent price higher, okay? And there's pending orders back in that demand zone. But for this right here, you can see there's just so many wicks back into the zone before actually going higher. It's just not a strong zone. It's not showing where institutions sent price higher very quickly because, us retail traders, we can't just, boom, big green dick candle, to the upside, right? We can't do that, but investors can. So when we see something like that down here, where we have, obviously we're starting to create more bullish market structure, right? We broke this high, and then we come back down, retest this demand zone, then we explode off, right? This cannot be a coincidence. This is from large institutional orders. So what do? We mark out that demand zone. That is a very strong zone. Some may say, okay, there's a fair value gap attached. It means that investors shot price up very, very quickly out of that demand zone. Okay, so that's what shows you guys there's a strong zone. And like, not to mention before that, right, we also have a zone here. And what happened? Investors shot price up very quickly. Price comes down, tests that demand zone. Boom. Rest is history. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay, from there, we are now looking for bullish market structure. Okay, we are looking for liquidity to fuel our move. Because if you guys don't already know, my model, you guys can learn it in my Discord, completely free. I don't sell shit. But my model, what it looks like is, let's say we're in an uptrend. Okay, we have liquidity here. So we have our demand zone here. We're looking for that continuation back to the downside, and then boom, okay? Institutions fill their orders, sweep liquidity, sweep out normal supply and demand traders who are trading this zone, and this is where we enter. So we're basically sweeping out a bunch of people. We're getting to ride price back up to the upside. Boom, we make our money, okay? So that's what we're looking at when we trade my model. So that is exactly what happened here. This is a pretty good setup. I mean, I don't really like how large structured it is, right? This zone is from the 17th, and then we took this on the 23rd, but it's decent. Okay, it's kind of larger structure. I would like smaller structure, but you get what you get and don't get upset. Right here, this wasn't great, this consolidation, but overall, market structure was so bullish. I'm fine with taking these setups. Okay, so what we have here that I have marked out is we have a bunch of lows that needed to be swept before sending price higher. So what were we looking for? We were looking for price to come back down, sweep these lows, react off this demand zone. What happened? We got exactly that. We got even like a little fake out off this liquidity sweep, but you can see we didn't actually touch this demand zone. Boom, faked out normal supply and demand traders, and just people trading liquidity sweeps, maybe ICT motherfuckers. And yeah, we got our entry. Normally I wait till the bullish close outside of the zone. I think I did on this. I kind of forget. But I did end up getting filled around here. And the reason for that is because what I like to do on these swing trades is a lot of the time, I shouldn't be telling you guys this, but I will because I'm a beauty, right? This is a candle, okay? Say this is the 30-minute candle, bullish candle out of our zone, okay? We're normally entering this right here, and we're putting our stop loss right below that candle's wick, okay? But for me, what I normally do on 30-minute trades, it depends how big the stop loss is. If I want to make it smaller, what I'll do is I'll set a limit order halfway through that candle. Boom. You get 50% smaller of a stop loss, and normally higher risk to reward. So that's what I did over here. You can see normally that candle will come down to at least 50% of the previous one, and you will get a better entry. So yeah, this was the trade I took. Let's get into this now. Okay, let's delete that, right? You guys saw the structure before, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, why did I target here? And unfortunately, why did I not hold for longer? Okay, because this would have been a crazy trade, right? If I was risking about 500 on this trade, if this played off, what is 500 times 20? I don't want to do math, but you guys can, right? So these were my take profits though. Okay, so this is what I had. I had 50% out here at this opposing supply zone. We'll go over that in a second. Then I also had, I think it was at the top of this move here. So basically 10 risk reward. I had another 50% out, which would have hit, right? But unfortunately, I only secured that 50% gain, and I got stopped at break even right after that, okay? Unfortunate, it happens. I always move my stop loss to break even after I take TP1, so it's fine. We secured $1,000 on the trade, so, can't be mad at that. But why did I take profit right here? Okay, well, so there's a few different reasons, okay? First of all, lower time frame, meaning like 30-minute, we were in a downtrend, okay? So, downtrends, they don't like to break highs. So I didn't really want to take this high as my first take profit, just in case my idea was kind of wrong and we were actually going to go lower. I wanted to secure those gains to keep me trading, okay? Because trading, you're just trying to stay alive for the next day. So with that being said, right, let's say I was wrong. Price normally likes to come back up, retrace a little bit before actually making that move lower. You guys can see it throughout here, right? Shit, did not mean to do that. You guys can see that throughout here, okay? Where we'll come back down here, kind of sweep this low, and then we'll have a little retrace back up, come down, once again here, come back up, and what's this right here? This is the supply zone. Touch the supply zone before continuing lower, right? So that's what I was kind of looking for, okay? I didn't know if maybe this was a super strong zone, which it turned out to be. It will just send back to the highs off of it. Looks like that's what we're doing. So I wanted to secure those gains very quickly instead of being, wicked out or whatever before the actual move is made. So we secured our gains at this supply zone right here. I know it doesn't really look like it touched. I swear it did. I'll literally show you guys the screenshot. Yeah, but we end up securing those gains. Then shortly after, got stopped out at break even. Unfortunate, it happens. And then price just runs off without us. But these were my take profits that I had set. Okay, so I had 50% out here, and then I had another 50% out at 10 risk to reward. So it would have been about, I don't know, maybe a $4,000 trade, $3,000 trade, but instead only a $1,000 trade. Can't be mad at $1,000. It's $1,000 that I didn't have before this trade. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. That is how I made $1,000 trading GBP NZD over the holidays. Okay, this was the trade we took. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Join the Discord if you guys want to learn my model, want to talk to me. I post my trades in there. Go have fun. See you boys in the next one. Peace.